Walker Howard has committed to the Ole Miss Rebels. Is this a bad decision on his part? Let's get into the video. This is Tiger Den Sports, and I'm your host, Jason Darcy, the best blind guy in sports. So, Walker Howard has decided to commit to Ole Miss Rebels. Okay, that's fine. I understand he left LSU because he wanted more playing time and he wasn't going to get it behind Garrett Nussmeier and Jaden Daniels. Okay, fine. Transfer for more playing time. But you're not going to get more playing time at Ole Miss. They have Jackson Dart, who started every game this year at Ole Miss. He won Ole Miss 9 games, or maybe 10, I don't remember. But with that being said, Walker Howard has to go compete for that starting job, and he's not going to win. Jackson Dart this is going to be his 4th year playing college football. Walker Howard is still going to be a redshirt freshman. He's not going to beat out Jackson Dart. Oh, and here's the news of the day. Ole Miss is still recruiting quarterbacks in the transfer portal. He has, Lane Kiffin, that is, has reached out to Spencer Sanders, the Oklahoma State transfer quarterback. He has 4 years under his belt. So with that being said, I'm not sure at the time of this video being uploaded if Spencer Sanders has committed to Ole Miss yet or not. Y'all can leave me a comment and let me know if he did. But if Spencer Sanders commits to the Ole Miss Rebels, Walker Howard is in the same boat that he was in at LSU. He has to compete with veteran quarterbacks better than him at Ole Miss. Spencer Sanders and Jackson Dart. They're 2 better quarterbacks than Walker Howard. Walker Howard was a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school, yes. But we've seen him play at LSU in just a handful of games, and he did not impress when he got on the field. So I do not see him taking over a starting job at Ole Miss for Jackson Dart or Spencer Sanders. So why did Walker Howard decide to go to Ole Miss when TCU was on the table? He could have went anywhere else. I mean, I believe the reports were there was a dozen schools that reached out to him. He could have went to Alabama and probably played there first. They don't have great quarterbacks coming back. They don't have veteran quarterbacks. He could have went to Alabama. I'm glad he didn't go to Alabama, but at least he would have had a better chance to start there. Or he could have went to Florida with Billy Napier, because their starting quarterback position is not great there either. There was reports that Jaden Rashada was offered $13 million in NIL deal to go there, and once he signed, they did not pay him. So he's asking for out of his letter of intent to get out of it, and now he's going to visit Colorado. But with that being said, Florida would have been a better option. I'm glad he didn't go there either because LSU plays him. But with him going to Ole Miss just shows you that 18 and 19-year-old kids do not know what they're doing. They let their emotions run high. They let their emotions take the best decision out of their hands because they think, like I said in a previous video, that the grass is greener on the other side. It's not. 18 and 19-year-olds with NIL being a big part of this cannot make decisions like this without consequences. Now, Walker Howard's consequence is he got to go compete at Ole Miss in the same situation he was in at LSU. The difference is at LSU, Brian Kelly loved Walker Howard. He knew that he could get Walker Howard to where he wanted to be. Lane Kiffin just wanted Walker Howard because he was a 5-star quarterback and he could not get a high school quarterback on his team that was that good. That's the only reason Lane Kiffin wanted him. Not because he thinks he's great or something, just because he don't have anybody else besides Jackson Dart. And now Spencer Sanders, apparently. But Walker Howard kind of shows me that he doesn't want to compete for a starting job. He really doesn't. Because after this year, Jaden Daniels is going to the NFL draft. He's out of options. Then you're competing with Garrett Nussmeier for the first string quarterback job. Yes, you do have Ricky Collins and Colin Hurley that's going to be there next year. But I'm sure Walker Howard would beat out Ricky Collins and Colin Hurley, who would be a redshirt freshman and a freshman coming in. But he doesn't want to work at it. He doesn't want to put in the work. He just wants to leave for a better position. And now look where he's at. He's competing with two other great quarterbacks, two veteran quarterbacks that he probably will not win the job over. And that's what I'm talking about when I say the grass is not greener on the other side. These players nowadays just want to take the easy way out and see what's out there. They want to go for the money. They want to go to where they can just play right away instead of working at it. I mean, I said this plenty of times before. I just don't get it. Walker Howard could have went anywhere in the country. He had 12 schools call him. Why didn't he take any other visits? Did he rush into this decision? Y'all let me know in the comments. Do y'all think that Walker Howard rushed into this decision? And do you think Ole Miss was the best option for him? If you're asking me, I believe TCU was the better option. He could have at least won the starting spot at TCU. They don't have a great quarterback. Max Duggan or Duggan, however you pronounce his name, is going to the draft. Jack Besh, his best friend, is going to TCU. They played in high school together. That seemed more likely. So I'm going to say that Walker Howard made a bad decision here. It was a bad choice on his part to go to Ole Miss. Now, there's one other thing I want to say about this. I can understand wanting to play right away, okay? The other reason I think he committed to Ole Miss is, I didn't know this till this morning, but apparently the Howard family is from Mississippi, and they don't live too far from Oxford. So I think that played a part in going to Ole Miss as well. So if it's the family thing, I'm okay with it. But I still don't see him getting much playing time. I still don't see him starting over Jackson Dart or Spencer Sanders for that matter. So I wish Walker Howard the best. I really do. And if LSU plays Ole Miss and Walker Howard does end up being the starter, he has to deal with Harold Perkins, Mekhi Wingo, and all the other defenders on LSU that won't take it easy on him. Once you leave LSU, you're no longer a Tiger. You're an opponent, and we don't look at you as a friend. We don't look at you as a former player. We look at you as an opponent. That's what LSU is going to do. And I think LSU will feast on Walker Howard. So, Walker Howard, in my opinion, has made the wrong choice, a bad choice. NIL played a factor, family played a factor, and emotions have played a factor in this. And I think 18 and 19-year-olds should not be put in the position to make these type of decisions. They're not ready for it. They make too many emotional decisions that can hurt their career. Because Walker Howard could have been second string this year. And I'm going to tell you why. Jaden Daniels coming back, LSU fans were mad about. Not because Jaden Daniels can't play. Yes, we all know Jaden Daniels has some problems. He can't throw the deep ball. He can't read the defenses like you want him to. But with Jaden Daniels coming back, I think LSU fans were more mad about that because they knew that Garrett Nussmeier or Walker Howard was going to transfer. And I think that was why LSU fans were so upset about Jaden Daniels coming back. Not because he couldn't play. Because he brought you to an SEC championship game. And I'm 100% on board with Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock's decision to name Jaden Daniels the starter because that's the best option you have. Garrett Nussmeier is not a horrible quarterback. He's not. But He makes bad decisions with the ball, and you cannot win games making bad decisions. And so, with that being said, I believe Walker Howard could have been the second string quarterback on LSU's roster after spring. And this is why. Because I don't think Garrett Nussmeier will be here after spring. With Jaden Daniels coming back, Garrett Nussmeier said he's going to stay during the spring practices because Brian Kelly is giving him a shot to be the starter. But Garrett Nussmeier will not win the starting job. I'm telling you that right now. Jaden Daniels is way better right now than Garrett Nussmeier. So Garrett Nussmeier after spring will transfer. I'm telling you that right now because he wants to play. And look, I don't blame him for transferring. I'm not. This is his second year. If he goes somewhere where he can play right away, fine. But Garrett Nussmeier is not going to be here after spring if he doesn't win the starting job. So that's why I say if Walker Howard would have stayed during the spring, he would have became the second string quarterback. And then if something happened to Jaden Daniels, Walker Howard would have stepped in to be the number one quarterback. But because Walker Howard played let his emotions take the best of him and get the best of him, he made this bad choice to go to Ole Miss because he's not going to start there, at least not this year. Maybe next year he will. But the same case could have been said at LSU. Maybe next year Walker Howard would have been a starter. So I believe, like I said, in my opinion, Walker Howard made a wrong choice, a bad choice, an emotional choice, and I think it's going to hurt him in the long run. I know Lane Kiffin is a quarterback whisperer. He does great with his quarterbacks, whoever he has there. But Walker Howard is not going to be the starter this year. He may start next year. I don't know. Just depends on who Lane Kiffin gets in there. Somebody might be better than Walker Howard next year at Ole Miss. You just don't know. So that's enough about Walker Howard. And in my opinion, he made the wrong choice, the bad choice. But let's get into Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier. I got into it a little bit, but with Jaden Daniels and Nussmeier competing in spring, they're competing in the spring right now to be number one or number two. And like I said a few minutes ago, Garrett Nussmeier, if he does not become the starter, he's going to transfer out. I don't see Garrett Nussmeier sitting on the bench again. I really don't. If he does, it's going to surprise me, and great for him. Great for him to wait his turn because he's going to be a great quarterback if he could just stop the interceptions. He does a lot of things well. But if he's not the starting quarterback at LSU after the spring, my belief is he will transfer. And he's going to transfer to a school where he can start. That's just the way college football is now. I don't like it. You know my opinions on NIL and transfer portal. But Garrett Nussmeier will transfer if he's not the starting quarterback. So where does that leave the quarterback room after spring at LSU? It leaves you with Jaden Daniels and Ricky Collins. That's it. So I don't know what LSU is going to do. I'm assuming they're just going to have to hit the transfer portal again for another quarterback just to have depth. Because if something happens to Jaden Daniels, then all you have is Ricky Collins. That's it. A freshman. Not that Ricky Collins isn't a great quarterback. I believe he's going to do really good at LSU. But he's a freshman. And we don't know how he's going to do. And then you're basically down to Ricky Collins, who's a freshman. Then everybody else is walk-ons. So LSU's in trouble if all these scenarios I just laid out to you happens. It's not a good thing. It's a really bad issue at LSU right now because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know what's going to happen with Walker Howard making this decision to go to Ole Miss, which like I said again, it's a bad decision. He could have waited it out, became second string because Nussmeier will not be here after spring. But with Walker Howard transferring, and if Garrett Nussmeier transfers out as well, LSU's in trouble. LSU will have to hit the transfer portal again after spring for a quarterback.